So my next team was the Knicks, and
Okay.
specifically Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, when is he going to get back to being the Karl-Anthony Towns that we've seen throughout his career offensively? Because this is the worst offensive season of his career, arguably, probably. It's either this or his rookie year. Like, and the best version of the Knicks clearly involves Towns reaching a higher level than he's reached this year. Like, I don't know what's been going on to make him miss open threes and so many shots that he's missed inside the paint. But the Knicks going to the finals and winning the East is just like not going to happen if he's the guy that he's been throughout this season. Like, this is a guy that for his career is like almost a 50, 40, 85 guy. And this year he's shooting 46% from the field, 35% from three. Like, throughout his career, he's been like 57, 58, 59% on 2-point shots. This year he's down at like 51% just because he can't make a shot around the basket.
Yeah.
And then the threes, it's just like, this is a 40% shooter for his career, like the self-proclaimed best shooting big man of all time. And it wasn't ridiculous that he claimed that. And he's just not making his threes either. If he doesn't get back online, then like the version of the Knicks we thought we could see coming into the year, like where they're going to go to the finals, I just doubt that that can be the case if he's not going to be the offensive force that we've seen him be throughout his career.
It's such a great call out, right? Because I think most people with the Knicks, they're going to focus on the defense. And can that be considered? And that's a big issue, right? Like, what is this defense? There's times where it looks elite. There's times where it looks like they really couldn't care less about playing on that end of the court.
Yeah.
We all know that the defense has to be good for them to get as far as they think they can go. The Towns piece of this is really interesting because I thought last year, I likened it to somebody who, like, when Karl-Anthony Towns would drive to the basket for most of his career, he was kind of like walking into the grocery store, really not sure what he wanted with no list. And then last year he was like, I'm going to the bread aisle. I need bread. I'm going to the bread aisle. I'm getting my bread, and then I'm leaving the bread aisle and I'm leaving the store. It was so much more decisive in the way that he was driving to the basket. It wasn't just kind of moving all over the place. And this year he's back to just no list, just kind of browsing the aisles. I'm like, what happened? His dunk attempts are down. You're absolutely right. He went from shooting 70% at the rim last year to 61% this year, which is one of the lowest marks of his career. I'm not really sure what happened. There was a decisiveness to Towns' game. And a lot of times decisiveness will show up and manifest as physicality, right? And there's a lack of decisiveness when I watch Towns play right now.
Yeah, last year it was I am driving as hard to the right as possible and I am shooting 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's I'm driving, I don't really know where, and also I'm going to use my off arm and get an offensive foul every single time.
Right. He's got that little chicken wing back. I don't know what's going on. He's got to be a lot better. When you slight swerve here, because we've talked about Detroit, Cleveland, and New York now, Jared. Do you still feel like it's one of those teams that comes out of the East? If you had to sort of handicap it here in terms of who you maybe in terms of trustability rankings, if you had to put your trust into one of these teams, or maybe it's a different team, who would it be in the East?
Yeah, I would throw Boston in the mix too at this point, given the season that the Celtics have had. I picked the Knicks before the start of the season, and I don't know that I've seen anything that necessarily takes me off of that definitively. It's more just I haven't seen anything that makes me feel better about it than I did at the start of the year either. Like, I think when they're operating at peak capacity, they're probably like, I think they have the highest ceiling of that group of teams, especially if we don't know what Jason Tatum is going to look like when he gets back. But the floor is maybe a little bit lower than I thought it was going to be coming into the year. And I also don't think we've seen the ceiling because Towns just hasn't been the guy that we thought he was going to be throughout this year. And they can't seem to get, like, they can always have either one of OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges going at a time, and they're never going at the exact same time.
Right. The interesting thing about Towns, too, is he'll just flip the switch sometimes randomly. Like, he doesn't ramp up to it. He just, one day he's just like, oh, he's awesome again. And then he'll just be awesome for 2 weeks. And you're just like, okay, cool. And then something. So you got to time it right, I think, if you're the Knicks in the playoffs. You're like, okay, let's hope that maybe it's a good thing that he's not playing very well right now. And then he'll time it right for the playoffs there.